And maybe the Great Resignation is about people not wanting to be the parts that they had to be. Hey, it's another makeup video. Is this a makeup channel or what? Well, the thing is, you see, right at this moment in time, as I'm filming this, I'm having a panic attack. I know what you're thinking. Woman, you do not look like you're having a panic attack. You're smiling. You're functioning. You're not gasping for air. You're not curled up in a corner. You're not a whole bunch of things that we think panic attacks should look like. But over the years of making videos and being on social media, I have tried to help folks see that someone right next to you could be having a panic attack and you do not know it. So be kind to people. Could be the person checking you out at the grocery store. Could be someone that you work with. Could be somebody sitting there on a Zoom call on mute so that no one can hear their raggedy breathing. It could be anybody. And they don't all look the same, but they all feel horrible. For the person having the panic attack, it's like, wow, I would rather feel anything other than this. I would, and trigger warning for self-harm, I think here, I would rather feel physical pain than feel this. Now, I don't, the one thing I don't do to myself, right? Well, at least not in a very outward way. So why am I telling you this? And what does this have to do with the title of this video? Well, the panic attack started when I started thinking about not doing this channel anymore. And I was in the shower and I just, I have limited energy physically and a somewhat demanding personal life. And I have my doll channel, which I love. And then I try to help other YouTubers. And then I just, in general, am always inserting myself into people's lives and just trying to help them whether they ask me to or not. I'm that person. And so I was trying to convince myself in the shower that I can do all of my helping people and helping people get better together on the doll channel, and that I don't need to do this anymore. And the reality is that the reason for my wanting to quit, which is what this video is about, the Great Resignation, about people quitting things. So everybody's talking about the Great Resignation, okay? About people quitting their jobs just en masse. Large swaths of people are quitting their jobs as we go through this time of this pandemic and all of this stuff. And people are attributing it to just, economic changes, and because people can work remotely and people are learning how to live with less. And since they haven't been able to travel and they haven't been able to go out, they realize they don't need as much disposable income as they thought they needed. Oh, they can move to other places where the cost of living is less expensive and have a better life and not have to work as hard. And those are probably valid reasons why people are quitting their jobs for some people. But a lot of people who are quitting their jobs are not, by the way, in case you're wondering, it was this. It's not really a makeup video. I don't think people are quitting their jobs. I don't think the Great Resignation is anything about economics. I think it's about terror and control. I think people are terrified by the complete lack of control they have over their lives. And so they're quitting the thing that they can. They love their family, not going to quit my family. They love their friends, not going to quit my friends. Love their hobbies, not going to quit their hobbies. The job, I could quit that. I could assert some kind of control over my life by quitting something. That's why, so I have a dear friend who every year on the 1st of February starts this 28 days to change thing. And it's actually 6 years ago, she became sober by starting, I'm just going to do 28 days without drinking. She's been sober for 6 years. I think we all look for something that we can control. And sometimes that control looks like quitting. But quitting is also about something else. And that's, I think, why I'm having a panic attack. There's a 14-year-old girl in me. Remember I talked about internal family systems, and I will put a link down below again to the No Bad Parts book. I think it's just been transformative for the way I do my own self-care and self-therapy. So as I'm in the shower, I go inside, I feel, for me, anxiety and panic and terror is just this squeezing of my heart. And it just feels like this elephant just squeezing the life out of me. Why would an elephant squeeze? I don't know. Should have been a boa constrictor. But anyway, it's an elephant. Sorry. My mental image, not yours. You can have a boa constrictor. But that's what it feels like. And it just feels like everything's bad and everything's awful. And I just want to cry, but I can't cry because I have things I have to do. And I can't scream because I don't want to wake anybody up. And I can't talk to anybody about it because I don't want to burden anyone with my problems. So I'm burdening you, right? Does this sound familiar? Yeah, see? And inside of me, when I went deeper inside and I said, who are you? This thing that I'm feeling in my body, who are you? And I always get interesting answers to this question. Earlier this morning, in just a regular kind of not desperate, like in need of help situation, I was just doing my morning meditation and reading the No Bad Parts book. I came upon 4-year-old Melissa, and she had some very interesting things to say, but I went through some health problems when I was 4 years old, and apparently they traumatized me. Who knew? I knew. But this was different. So I just said, like, who are you? And she's like, it's me, and I can see me. And so you're supposed to ask with this IFS, like how old are you? Like, where are you in my life? And she said she's 14. And so we're having this conversation about how everything at home is falling down around her. And she's also started to go to this, I went to a college prep high school. And I was not a great student. Like, I just basically got through grammar school, like K through 8. I just got through. I must have gotten okay grades. I know that every time we did the annual standardized tests, I always got the lecture that I wasn't working up to my potential, because apparently I was always in like the 98th, 99th percentile, but like my grades didn't really reflect that. Well, also, my home life didn't reflect either. But so high school was a huge change for me, because I was thrust into this situation where all of the kids around me were college bound, and so was I. And this meant having to actually study and work and worry about extracurricular activities. And I became a different person. I literally became someone else in high school. And 14-year-old me is like freaking out about that. She's so overburdened. She's terrified. She doesn't want to fail her mom. She doesn't want to lose her new friends, who are all very driven people. She doesn't want them to find out how lazy and stupid she is. She feels like a great big fraud. And at the same time, she just has so many hopes and dreams, and none of them are ever going to happen for her, because now she's on this path. And so one of the things in IFS that you're supposed to ask the person, and I think going back to the Great Resignation, I think people are doing this in a way. People are so stressed out and freaked out that they're saying to themselves, what would I rather be doing? Because it's not this. And they're finding out that, I don't want to do anything for a while, or, I just want to go like just stack boxes, or I just want to go do something else. I'm like, I want to go be a barista. I like making coffee. I like making people happy. There's and then some people are just choosing not to work at all. They're like, I'm just going to live off my savings until I figure myself out. So some people are answering the question, And across these 2 years of, well, what would I rather be doing? Because this sucks. Like, what I've been doing sucks. I've had way too much time to reflect on how much it sucks. There's only so much Netflix I can binge. Remember the 60s, drop out, drop out, turn on, all that stuff. So I think that's a little bit of what the Great Resignation is people just quitting. It's kind of like that Friends episode. I want to quit the bank. I want to quit the gym. They want to quit the life, but they don't want to stop living. That's not it. They just don't want to do this life anymore. And quitting feels liberating for a minute. For me, quitting really upsets the 14-year-old girl. I'm still not sure why. But she did yell at me. This is what you always do. You always quit things. And I was like, that's not true. So it's good to have an argument with yourself. That's not really how you're supposed to do IFS. That was another part of me now arguing with a part of me. It was all very in the shower and things just kept getting worse as far as the anxiety. Thankfully, I was in the shower. So I was able to just wash away the flop sweat. And so I said to her, well, what does 14-year-old Melissa, what would you rather be doing than the stuff that is freaking you out right now? And she said, I'd rather be writing. That was like immediately writing was her answer. And I was a prolific writer from the time I was about 10 until I went to college. I hand wrote in notebooks. I wrote fan fiction. I wrote fantasy. I wrote all kinds of stuff. And I said, well, but we are writing again. And she said, swear to God, 14-year-old Melissa looked at me and goes, you promised me we were going to write again. You promised me we were going to write every morning. You even got a little device so you could write uninterrupted. I bought this really expensive, essentially stripped down basic word processor called a Free Write. I bought this for myself for Christmas so that I could write without distractions. I'm not on my laptop. I can't write by hand anymore. It hurts too much. So that was my solution, okay? And I was going to write every morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, I was going to write. I did it like maybe, I'm going to be generous and say I did it maybe 7 times in January. That's not every day. That's not, what's the word of the year? Discipline. That's supposed to be my word, right? I can't really read that. That says discipline. I think it says discipline. Yeah, it says discipline. So that's not very disciplined. So she's like, you always say you're going to do things and then you give up. You quit. You always quit. You never see anything through. Now, while I don't believe that that's entirely true, I do believe that when I encounter resistance, I will quit something that I want to do before I will quit something that I have to do. So I would not be part of the Great Resignation because a job is something I have to do. And there's no way I would quit. I dragged a nearly lifeless lower half of my body through Manhattan for a year trying not to quit because of MS. And that was like dumb. But when it's something that I want to do, like writing or this channel, I will quit on myself every time. And I don't know why. But I think that the Great Resignation isn't about quitting a job. It's about quitting something. Maybe it's about, I'm not going to quit myself, but I'm going to quit all you. It's more than just an economic employment situation. It is a much bigger situation that we are not dealing with. Just like in myself, this willingness to quit things that I want to do when they aren't going exactly the way I want them to, or when other things come along that I have to do, I will bail on what I want to do. And you're like, well, that's very responsible. You're a responsible person, Melissa. No. I am and I'm not. I'm not naturally responsible. When I do parts work, the managers and the protectors and the parts of me that are protecting me from trauma, they're the discipline people. They're the people who are responsible. They're the ones that make sure the bills get paid. And That's not naturally who I am. I'm naturally a free-spirited flibbertigibbet. I don't even know what a flibbertigibbet is. I used to get called that a lot as a kid. I am naturally more wild and free and spiritual and artistic and creative, but I've become a reliable, grounded, mature, responsible, disciplined businesswoman, mentor, parent. I don't know if I'm the most disciplined parent. I don't know. You'd have to ask Caden. Caden is advanced parenting, let me tell you. I make myself be all of those parts, and I don't let myself be the other parts of myself. And maybe the Great Resignation is about people not wanting to be the parts that they had to be. And maybe they're like, you know what? It didn't matter anyway. I did everything I was supposed to do, and the whole world went to shit anyway. I quit. I quit doing the thing I don't want to do, which is my job. I quit. I'll go do something else. I'll move somewhere else. I'll find another way. But I'm not going to do this anymore. And people are like, oh, you know, and people who are applying for jobs, they're trying to dictate terms and stuff. Yeah, because they're putting themselves first in this equation. They want to do something that they enjoy. They want to have their flexibility. They want to have their ability to telecommute or have a hybrid option. They want all of those options because now they realize that they are possible and that they are worthy of them, and that if they play the other game, the game that they thought they were supposed to play, the game that where they were being responsible and doing all of the adult stuff, it is absolutely zero guarantee of safety or happiness. So why the heck am I doing it? Right? And I think that's what the Great Resignation is about. There's way too many people quitting their jobs for it to be about economics. No. We are watching our country, our society go through, I don't know, is it a midlife crisis? I don't know what we would call it. It's a crisis. It's a huge crisis. And I realized that as I was going through my own mini I quit crisis. I'm not quitting. I'm not going to quit the thing that I want to do. I'm not going to quit doing this just because it's not turning out, oh, it's not a huge success. Well, by whose standards, right? By YouTube standards or by my own standards? Well, by my own standards, I really like what Elvira and I are doing, and I want to do more of it. Also, a lot of these videos might be me putting on makeup. Screw it. I like putting on makeup. This channel's for you. This channel's also for me, right? So I need to keep that in mind as I process what I'm going to do going forward. So yeah, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop being a responsible adult, though, because that is something that I actually really do need to do. Is I need to adult. Sometimes we need to adult, but I also need to make time in my adulting for 14-year-old Melissa to write. I make a lot of time for 4-year-old Melissa to play with dolls. And I call it making YouTube videos. Really, it's playing with dolls. I don't make enough time for 14-year-old Melissa to write, for 13-year-old Melissa to write, for 25-year-old Melissa to write, for 32-year-old Melissa to write. I've really let her down. And you might feel that way about yourself, about anything at all. You let a part of yourself down. You quit. You know you can start again, right? Of course you do. Anyone who's ever gone on a diet knows that you can quit and start again. Like, I'm not eating ice cream at all in 2022. January 7th. Ben and Jerry's. We all know we can quit and start again. I think the Great Resignation is about people quitting, and eventually they will start again. They will find their way again. But I hope that maybe in the process of their resignation, of their change, of their crisis, that they find something more true to themselves. I just want the whole country to go through therapy together. And that's probably not going to happen, but I really think we need it. Therapists, you can't even get an appointment with a therapist. They are so backlogged. you know, if I had the physical energy and the actual desire, I would go get my MSW, but I don't have the desire to ever go back to school. I never want to go to school again. I still have nightmares about school. I think that it's time for everybody to take a look at, why are you quitting what you're quitting? Are you quitting it because you just really don't want to do it anymore? Are you quitting it because it's not going the way you think it should be going? Are you quitting it because you just need to quit something? You need to exert some control over your life. I totally understand that. I totally do. But what I would encourage all of us to do is to look at, in my case, I'm not quitting. So, but if I were quitting this, what would I replace it with? What soul-feeding thing, what me wanting, me fulfilling thing would I fill it with? And I think that's the question that everybody who's taking part in the Great Resignation should be asking. What am I quitting, and what am I replacing it with? If you quit one soul-sucking job and replace it with another soul-sucking job, you've got nothing but a soul-sucking job, just with a different name tag. But what if you quit a soul-sucking job for a soul-filling job? Now, that'd be pretty cool. I hope that a good section of the millions of people who are doing this Great Resignation are choosing either jobs that are fulfilling or job situations that allow them to have more fulfillment in life. And if that's what's really happening, that's awesome. But I'm afraid that what's really happening is people can't think of anything else to do, and they need to exert some control over their lives, and so they're quitting their jobs. It's all they can think of to do. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying quitting is bad at all. If that's the way you need to claim some power in the crazy world that we're in right now, it's okay. It's okay. And if staying in a soul-sucking job is what you have to do, and you're like, no, I can't quit on that, then try to find some other way in your life to get some fulfillment, to get some soul filling. And if you're ever having a panic attack and can't figure out your way out of it, put your camera on, your phone camera on a tripod, and start talking to a camera. Just turn on the video and go. You never know. You might become a YouTuber, right? We never know. But talking this out with you guys makes me feel better. And I hope that somewhere in this rambling, some of you found some nuggets that help you feel better. And if nothing else, I hope you realize that you just watched me go from panic attack to no panic attack. And you couldn't tell it all. So remember, you don't know what the person sitting next to you on the bus is going through. Don't make assumptions about anybody. Be kind to everybody. They might really need you to be kind to them at this moment. You could make a huge difference if you were just kind to somebody. So that's my story about the Great Resignation, panic attacks, me not quitting this channel, and I need to write now. If I don't write today, I have let little Melissa, 14-year-old Melissa, down. So I'm going to go do that now. Guys, I really do believe that we're better together, and we can get better together. That's why that turned out to be the slogan for the channel. And so I ask you to share your own experiences in the comments, and let's talk to each other. Let's continue the conversation. And I really appreciate you watching my very strange ramblings. I love you so much. Please stay well. Bye.